Welcome back to NWA Main Event right here on the Comcast Channel 74 network. Jason James being joined finally by promoter Mike Porter. You know, Mike, I've been sitting over here for the past two matches waiting on you to show up, and you've probably been at the concession stand getting a Burt Prentice hot dog or something. Nonetheless, we got marvelous Mitch Ryder in the ring taking on Justin Andrews.
That's correct, and this is in Portland, Tennessee. You got a great crowd. Portland's got plenty of wrestling fans up there that get enthusiastic and to support NWA wrestling. And go ahead, Jason.
Well, marvelous Mitch Ryder giving a show to the fans here in Portland, Tennessee, as you said, and the fans not taking too well to the marvelous one.
I don't believe they like Mitch Ryder very well, but you talked a while ago about I just got here, Jason. I've been on the phone with George Goulis. I'm trying to get him patched through to find out about what's going on with the Kentucky Athletic Commission.
What do you mean? You've already said something that I didn't know, so apparently this phone call has to do with Kentucky.
Yes, the Kentucky Athletic Commission, the show in Princeton, Kentucky.
But we don't know what it's regarding.
No, I don't. You know, I've heard rumors flying all over. Porter don't have a Kentucky license. They're going to arrest him for not having a Kentucky license, but you know as well as I do, we did everything by the book. We had a Kentucky promoter. We paid the Kentucky tax right there that night. So I don't know what it could be, Jason. It's just I just don't know.
You could be dragged out of Portland, Tennessee right now in handcuffs, and I'd be stuck doing the show alone again.
Well, if that's what the ring rumors are going around, if Trent's rumors are correct, then that may be what happened. But we had a promoter there.
Well, we're at the Richland Park Gym. His name is Michael Porter, and if you need him, come get him now, folks. You know, there's nothing I'd like better than to do this show by myself.
Oh, I'm sure you like that. I'm sure. But, you know, I got free at last bail bonds. Mario's my buddy. He'll come get me.
Crossover by Mitch Ryder. Hip toss now by Justin Andrews. Ryder goes down. Another hip toss onto Ryder, and Justin Andrews looking very impressive in the early going of this contest. Body slam, and Mitch Ryder wants no more.
He's gone out of that ring. He's going for that 10 count. That's a smart thing for him to do so he can get his bearings back together. You know, this Justin Andrews kid is coming a long way, Jason. He's worked, been down here a couple of times and wrestling for us, and it looks like Ryder's complaining that the kid pulled his trunks, but I didn't see any trunk pulling.
Neither did I. I saw no tight pulling, no hair pulling whatsoever. And Mitch Ryder now reluctant to return to the squared circle. And boy, I just keep thinking about this announcement, this blockbuster announcement from Commissioner George Goulis. Apparently that's going to be a little later in the broadcast. And I'm now being told, folks at home, you heard it straight from the horse's mouth, Mike Porter, that the announcement has something to do with the show in Princeton, Kentucky, and it also has something to do with the Kentucky State Athletic Commission.
Well, that's exactly right, Jason. I have tried to get George. I've called his cell phone. You know, it may be that George's battery's dead. I mean, it might be burnt out from talking to the commissioner in Kentucky. I don't know. I've got to wait. I've got to try to get a hold of him. I've called his home. I've called his cell phone. I've called Julie's cell phone. And your friend Julie, your best friend Julie, I've tried to call her and leave a number, but I can't get a hold of anybody. Before this broadcast is over, we'll know exactly what's going on, I promise, Jason.
Yeah, hear it. We'll know the announcement before the broadcast ends, and Mitch Ryder now in complete control over Justin Andrews. Justin from the Evansville, Indiana area. NWA Main Event bringing stars from all over now down to Tennessee. You're going to see some guys in the near future from the Knoxville area, from the Memphis area. We've got talent coming in from all over Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois, and Indiana. We're going to bring you the best here in NWA Main Event.
Right, Jason. And don't forget NWA Anarchy. They're coming. We got the guys coming to
Waverly, Tennessee. We've already Friday, March 27th. What a night of wrestling action that will be. Jerry the King Lawler in action, as is his son, Too Sexy Brian Christopher. Both of those two individuals, Mike, will be in Waverly, Tennessee, Friday, March the 27th. You know, when the King comes to town, a crowd is sure to follow. The story will be no different in Waverly, Tennessee, Friday, March the 27th, with Jerry the King Lawler and Too Sexy Brian Christopher on the card. Mitch Ryder now with this submission on to Justin Andrews. That abdominal stretch locked in. Now gonna grab the ropes, and you see exactly what he's doing, Mike.
Right, Jason. You can see he's taking every shortcut that referee Jeremy Ryman does to see what he's doing, because he's down asking the kid if he wants to give, but he's not.
Now, from your experience in the ring, correct me if I'm wrong, you got a guy in the abdominal stretch, you grab onto that rope, torque it, and it applies that much more pressure sometimes. Very vital in a case you could get your opponent to submit.
Yes, you can, Jason. That's very painful, and when you grab that rope, it's extra painful. I'll guarantee you. I've been in that shape many times. Getting back to the Waverly show, we got Kyle Matthews coming from NWA Anarchy. We got Matt Boyce. We got Sweet Teddy Tender. I mean, the card is loaded with stars.
Teddy Tender gonna be.
That's exactly right there in Waverly. And look, everybody's going to come out and celebrate Mike Porter's 39th birthday, March the 27th. So be sure and be there.
39th birthday, boy. You wouldn't tell a lie either. Mike Porter, ladies and gentlemen, going to turn 60 years old Friday, March 27th in Waverly, Tennessee.
I'm the youngest of 3 children.
The big 6. Well, they must be older than you. They must be 62, 64, and 68 because Mike Porter turned 60. We're going to call it, I'm going to dub it myself, the Mike Porter Birthday Bash.
There you go. Where'd you hear that before?
I don't know.
Jason, thank you for exposing the truth.
Mike Porter turned 60 years old, boy, and, well, pigs are beginning to fly here in Nashville.
42 years in and out of the wrestling business. 42, Jason. Can you believe that? Now, there's no one else in this area, including Tony Falk, that can say they've been in this business 42 years. Maybe George Goulis. That'd be the only one I know of.
Unbelievable 42-year career. That right there in itself is impressive. But the fact that you actually made it to 60 is even more impressive.
You're right. I never thought I'd make it. You know what? But I'm planning to live. I'm going to live to be 100 because there's a lot of people, that's going to go on before me that's going to be buried in a grave, and I plan on doing a whole lot of stuff before I leave here.
Shots here from Justin Andrews on the Mitch Ryder. Irish whip from Ryder. Andrews goes in, hip toss, and he nails it on Andrews. Now a boot right to the face. Ryder once again, Irish whip into the opposite rope, goes for the hip toss again. Backslide from Andrews. Count 2, 3, and he did it.
He won.
Justin Andrews He just beat this veteran in Mitch Ryder, and Mitch Ryder with the post-match attack after the bell.
I'm going to tell you something. This kid is impressive to get that win over Mitch Ryder. And speaking of someone been in a wrestling career, Mitch Ryder has a great history in this business.
Well, Mitch Ryder with the post-match attack, and wait a minute, who is that in the ring? This individual has just climbed into the ring, and I don't know who that is, but he's really taking it to Mitch Ryder. And here comes Steve-O, and there's Jeff Daniels.
The first guy running was Sean Cook.
Sean Cook in the ring. I believe, is this his debut for main event wrestling?
Main event.
What an impressive individual as he comes to the aid of Justin Andrews, but to no avail. Steve-O and Jeff the Crippler Daniels with the post-match attack. Now on to Sean Cook. The attack onto Justin Andrews. Wait a minute! Scott Hayes, Chris Phoenix, and boy, does the house sure clear very quickly after these two come into the ring.
Jason, I've never seen anything like this. I don't know what's going on, but thank goodness Scott Hayes was there.
Well, folks, I'm being told through the headset this could affect the main event. We'll be right back with more NWA when we return.